Right, hello everybody. It's the 30th of April, so it's day 3 of the challenge for the building the calendar and just tracking my daily progress and stuff. So been to the gym 3 days in a row. I typically go quite a lot, so let me just check now. So if I check on the David Lloyd app, as I remember there, if I go to my workouts, so in April I've been 15 times to the gym. March 20 times, and then February 15 times. So I'm pretty consistent. I'm going like every other day. So I'm pretty productive when it comes to going to the gym. But I wanted to just show part of the creation process for the calendar and the mood board. And where we're up to now is we're actually at the validation stage. So I've tried to get some calendars brief and some vision boards brief today, but not all the other people on Upwork have managed to respond to me since I sent the messages out earlier. So I've only had one call so far, which is okay. I had the idea for the vision board to basically have it so that it's almost like a Yu-Gi-Oh card, Pokemon card. So I have a hero image in the middle, and then I have any sort of motivating factors that I'm looking for around the outside with a box at the bottom to add a quote or something. So it's easy. It's a template, so you can scale it pretty easily. People just need to upload photos to the said corresponding spots, and then it's a pretty easy product to produce at scale. But I'll just walk you through what I'm in now. So this is one of my automation tools on LinkedIn called Dripify, and I've got an ADHD search, which is anybody who's got ADHD in their name or anything will come up. So as you can see, I've sent out 88 requests. No, it might be more than that. It might be 99. And I've had a 10% response rate. So out of everybody who I've sent to so far has responded, 10% of them, but actually only 11 of them have actually accepted so far. So the acceptance rate is 20%. So 20 people have accepted, and then they'll be getting the messages now to respond to. So, it's only been really working since yesterday, and I've managed to get 10 responses, which is pretty good. If you look at some of the other campaigns, 10% response rate is really strong. This one here was crazy. So it was basically half of the people that accepted responded. I don't know if all of them were positive. So so far we're not at the best campaign that I've ever had on here. So far that was Dubai Real Estate Director, but as I said, it's only been going for 2 days, so those people will be able to respond and accept moving forward. So these figures are 100% going to go up. And so if I go into the campaign, we will be able to see the sequence. So it's just me chatting to people and stuff. So I've not gone overboard with it, to be fair. I kind of just left it pretty simple, as I'm not really trying to get anybody to buy. I just want to ask if people are interested. So it's got stats. So today, we sent out 61 invites today. 11 of those people accepted. I don't know if there's any, and then 5 people replied, which is pretty solid. I wonder if I'm able to show people if anybody is it going to let me. So you can see here. I don't really want to put any people's faces on or anything, but so this person replied. I sent these guys voice messages because they obviously got back to me. So overall, out of everybody who's actually replied, every single person has been interested or wanted to see it. So they've either explicitly said they're interested or just said, sure, send it over. So 10 out of everybody who's accepted, they've all replied, and then they've given a positive response. So basically half the people are getting back to me, which is crazy. So yeah, I didn't really want to make this a super long video. I just wanted everybody to sort of understand what the thought process was now. So I'm just putting the feelers out there, and then obviously this is definitely it's definitely an idea that I'm definitely going to pursue. When you get response and feedback like that from the market, from people who could actively promote, sell it, or use it themselves, or pass it on to other people, or be you know, of voices or beacons of information for the product. It makes a lot of sense, and they're directly who I want to speak to. So some of them are ADHD consultants and therapists and whatnot and coaches. So you're not really going to get a better target audience than that. So overall, yeah, super positive about it. I mean, me personally, I'm very tired at the moment. I've been drinking a lot of caffeine, so I don't know what I've been doing. I've been doing like a coffee in the morning with what, two, maybe three scoops of that gold one you get from Tesco's, Nestle or whatever it is. I think it might be that one, the gold one, the Arabica one. 6 sweeteners in that, bosh, and then I'll get to the gym. I have a double espresso, and then I'll have two pre-workouts, and then after that I'm just conked. So today I've only had the coffee in the morning with two, and then a pre-workout. I didn't have, and then I had a latte as well. Actually, I had a little protein latte from Lidl for 19 grams protein. They're really nice. So yeah, I'm definitely doing a lot better in terms of looking after my fitness and my health. That's not really a concern for me. I'm usually pretty good with that. I just go through ebbs and flows and whatnot, so I'm not really that bothered about that. But it's still good to be accountable for it. But obviously, I'm really mindful of my my energy and my peaks and my troughs. So I'm wondering, if I can build something into the calendar which, you know, enables people to track their energy, and then they can start to figure out what they're doing at certain times or before peaks and troughs, which is causing them to do that. And it could be quite a good diagnosis tool for people. I've ticked off my calendar now for the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, and I've been pretty consistent for the past 6 days. So when I'm typically ticking the calendar off, I get motivated because I'm seeing that I'm being consistent. I love consistency. Consistency is probably it is the most important thing in terms of your life. If you show up every day, even if it's 10%, it's way better than not showing up at all. And consistency beats talent, really. So that's where we're up to so far. Yeah, I mean, I haven't really got much else to say, to be honest. I'm gonna wait until I speak to these people on the calendars. I might. What am I going to do? So we've done market validation. This will be the third video we posted. Is there anything else that I really want to talk about? Not really, no. By the way, everybody, every single video that I'm making, I'm doing in one take. I'm not messing around doing all this video editing and stuff. I just find it quite contrived with a lot of videos online. They're super edited. 101 takes, and I remember ages ago, when YouTube was the first thing. And in this very room, I made my first YouTube video about protein powder, and I actually still think I'm right. So I was going. I think we was doing biology or something in what's it called, GCSE, and it was something to do with protein powders and stuff. Why I said I didn't think they were that effective because obviously the proteins get denatured and stuff. I probably was wrong. That some proteins that you get from whey isolate might actually be bioavailable, but come to find out, there's something now that has come out to do with nitrates. So if you've messed with the nitrate profile of protein, it will obviously signal to any sort of spectroscopy that you're doing that there's more protein content than there actually is. And if I do remember correctly from biology, I believe that proteins do have a little NO2 on there or something like that. And then obviously they might even have a nitrate ring. I can't remember, but I know that they've got some form of that in there, which is what determines it's a protein. Because obviously with carbohydrates, it's just like a hydrocarbon. So it's like, what's it got, like the little rings, the carbon hydrogen rings. So I'm not saying I'm a scientist, by the way, guys. It's just what I remember from school. So yeah, I remember making my first YouTube video basically about that, and I ended up deleting it, and I've regretted it ever since, because that was when I was massively into fitness and I was getting in pretty good shape pretty quickly. And obviously, when you're younger, you get bigger quicker and all that sort of rubbish. And I just never really followed through with it, and I always wish I did. So yeah, I remember back in those days when people used to just do videos in one take. The video editing software wasn't to what it is now, and it was way more natural, and it felt like a watch along, and I was sort of just mates with these people that I'd never knew and never met and never would meet, and they were all across the world, and I just quite enjoyed it. So I want to keep it like this. One, because I can't be asked to do all the editing and stuff. Two, I'm not trying to make a quirky, edgy brand that's got super cool edits. I'm just trying to make a brand where people can see what the hell I'm going through, see how I'm using the foundations of the calendar before I've got it, to show how I'm gonna create it and make it useful for people. I'm already got using my calendar next to me, so it's working for me. So if it worked for me, it'll probably work for somebody else. And yeah, just want to be able to get people together and hopefully help people change their lives. The world's so crazy right now. It always is crazy. There's so many different distractions out there, and it just got to that point now where there's enough resources out there for people to build products specifically for certain neuro profiles, such as ADHD and whatever else other people have got. And I don't see this as a anything other than a win for me. Really just being able to stick to it and just finish it off. I've always wanted to do a proper Shopify store again. I did this over COVID, and we ended up doing something more profitable, so we stopped it. And I'd always wanted to just make a product. I had a, I don't know if I'll be able to find it now, but I remember when I went to I used to go to a lot of festivals and stuff when I was like in my teens and whatnot, and I had a load of festival wristbands. I'm pretty sure I've got a band somewhere here. I know I do. Where is it? I mean, I've got old Yu-Gi-Oh cards and stuff here. There is definitely a band in here, in this drawer. I saw it the other day. Did I throw it out? Well, anyway, and I know everybody knows what I'm talking about if they've been to a festival and you get the festival wristband and they have the little plastic things on there. And I basically if I ever cut the bands off, well, I actually learned how to get them off without it. But I wanted to make it so that you could like reclip them and then you could wear them as like wristbands and stuff. And I just never did it. And I was like really paranoid about the environment, like, oh, people aren't going to buy it and all that sort of stuff. And then in hindsight, people buy anything; they don't care about anything other than themselves, really. So, that was an element of, I don't know if anybody knows about shadow work, but that would have been my shadow doubting me and all that sort of stuff, and taking me away from all the things that I probably could do if I would just do it rather than worrying about the consequences or the outcome, so to speak. Because there's not really any consequences; it's more just an outcome that I was pegged to. So that would determine how I would feel as if the outcome was good or not. But 2 secs. So yeah. Other than that, though, that's all I really want to say for today. I'll be back tomorrow. I might go through the briefs and stuff that I've gone through with the designers and stuff if they get back to me today, and then maybe we might review some more responses and stuff from people. And then what else is there? I mean, really, I know. I'm just waiting to get this design back. Someone said they'd be able to do it for $80 actually, so we can talk about cost if we want. So that's going to be the cost, but I just imagine that it's going to end up being thousands because of all the revisions and stuff. And I'm probably not going to stick with one designer. I'm going to have to make multiple templates, so I just know it's going to end up to be quite a lot. Which isn't a bad thing, but I basically got 20, 30, 40 plus messages of people saying they're interested. So that's a pretty strong enough argument for me to do it. The only other best way to test it would be to do a £1 deposit or something, but I just don't know if it's worth doing that. So ideally, the goal for the end of this week would be to at least have the calendar briefed. Obviously, I've been chasing these guys, so it's not like I haven't been trying to do it. And then get the calendar back next week. Once the calendar's back next week, build the store next week, or maybe actually get reviews first, then build the store. I might even build the store over the weekend. I don't know. I kind of want that guy to do it. The one who built the Gotti website and the Fire website, is really nice. And then, yeah, from there, I ideally want to be getting some UGC and stuff in May. So the main goal is to validate the idea in May, get some UGC, start running some ads, maybe some affiliates, referrals, things like that. I might even put it on like Amazon or something. um, and then go from there really. So yeah, I think that's pretty much the phase we're in. So it's actually, for anybody who's ever curious about starting a business or something, I've never done a business like this. I've done e-commerce before, but I've never made a product myself and physically sold it. So this will be a new one. The next steps would probably be ordering the posters to my house and then sending them. There's a post office near mine, so I'll just go and post them personally. So if you're excited and want to walk across this journey with me, then obviously please feel free to subscribe and follow. I mean, I don't think I've got more than 4 views yet on YouTube, but not on this one anyway. I've got 40 subs on my personal account. I was uploading videos of me going to the gym and stuff. I've got quite a few videos. I've got 10k plus views, but they were all just shorts. So yeah, if you're just curious about the journey, then feel free to tag along, my friends. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. It's the 30th of April, so we're tagging that as the day 3 of the calendar business gym life transformation program. Thank you.